Hey there, it's Max. So I'm doing something a little different. My little brother had asked me to make a painting for him combining two of his favorite games right now, which are Hyperlight Drifter and Rain World, which have a lot in common in terms of sort of post-apocalyptic worlds. Very very cool imagery. So right off the bat, I'm laying out like a couple different setups for this combination, and then I took these sketches and I sent them over to my brother, and he chose the one that he liked the best. And each one sort of has like a little bit of a different feel, different locations from the different games. Um, and he ended up going with this one here, this green one, which I think was pretty strong. Um, so he says this is the one that I like, so I start to go into it and put in all the details and start working on it. Here's another option that I had. Just trying all these different setups. These games have really great colors, really great environments. Um, so here we go. We're sort of like in this collapsed building. It's very overgrown. So I put in a grid to sort of just lay out how I want things to be moving in space. Um, to get sort of like this jumbled, things have collapsed, things are in different perspectives. There's crumbling chunks of cement, and really just focusing on my values right here. Um, Definitely something I have found helpful is keeping it super minimal, and then I got this big sort of tree root thing coming in. Um, because I've got these very hard angles, and then I can use more organic shapes with these overgrown trees and stuff coming in, and I put in more and more. Um, I also wanted to be very intentional about my color choice. I think my colors are pretty far from the source material in this one. I think that the other compositions that I was trying out had a lot more of that like super saturated, neon feel to it. This one felt a lot softer. Um, I have not yet played Rain World. I have beaten Hyperlight Drifter, and it certainly does have moments of more like calm, peaceful exploration. And I think that's sort of what this feels like. So, getting all these tree roots in, figuring out the light and shadow. I thought, the light's coming in from up above. We sort of feel underground. So I wanted a pretty clear directional light. And then the way that I'm sort of taking these elements and I'm changing them. So I'm grabbing them with like a lasso, and then going into like the hue saturation adjustments to get them to be a different color. And I really like that method just so that I can have that sort of big picture view of how I want the hues and the value ranges to be spread across the painting. I find that I get very lost in the details, which is a little funny because I don't think that I'm a very detail oriented artist. Um, Certainly, like with all of this moss and stuff, just all of these shapes within shapes within shapes got a bit much. So, definitely trying to keep things simple. And then here on the left, I'm putting in some like pipes or conduits to contrast with these overgrown branches. And I darken them up a little bit because I think that part would be more like recessed into the wall. I certainly go in later and make things a lot darker. I'm taking this dark purple and just really pushing these areas into shadow. And then up at the ceiling, of course, that's our light source, so I want it to feel like the light's filtering down. Sort of a, oh, there we go. There's my trick there where I duplicate everything and then do a level adjustment and then start to sort of erase out. And I think that method worked really well for this one because there is such strong directional light. Now it did dull out the whole thing. It's not as it doesn't feel as saturated as I would have liked. So I do bring that back. And I'm putting in just some leafy, you know, tree branches, leaf masses of leaves. And just trying to keep them as just big shapes. We can see here on this little tuft there, I get too piecey, like too many pieces, too blocky. But yeah, I soften these up. I think that's definitely something worth practicing is thinking about, you have a mass, you break it down, but then how do you keep it from becoming too blocky? And since working on this one, I have come to the minor realization that it's it's the quality of the line between surfaces or between areas of light and dark that really show texture. So it doesn't have to be the texture is evenly distributed through the whole thing. It's really just on the edges of shapes and value changes. So here I go into my figure. We've got the main characters from each game. So Rain World has like this slug cat thing. I have not played the game again. Pretty cute little guy. And then the Drifter from Hyperlight Drifter. Very, very cool guy. They're both very minimal games as well. Like Hyperlight Drifter, other than the tutorial at the top of the game, that's just like, oh, press, the A button to interact, press this button to attack. That's the only text in the game. It's all totally silent otherwise, which I think is so cool. And I believe that Rain World is similar. You have to sort of like piece together the story yourself. I think that this is like a glow layer. Again, trying to get just some light coming in. I think it felt pretty nice. Maybe a little yellow. A little yellow. Could have been blue. I'm not sure. Well, here's our finished piece. Hope my little brother likes it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, leave a comment. If you hated it, leave a comment. If you want me to draw something else, let me know. I'd love to hear your suggestions. Thanks so much. Bye.